Hi, this is Darren Long from Delta Harbor Assets, and on Friday afternoon, I am recording this little video update to let you know that Delta has had a fantastic week, plug you into what's happening, and get you up to date on silver and gold. First off, as I tape this video here on Friday afternoon, silver is just above $24.30 an ounce on paper. That's the spot price. Gold just under 1800 an ounce, and very exciting times. Both metals seemingly on sale this week. We've had a tremendous amount of business. A huge thank you to those people that did make purchases and open up accounts. February has been our busiest month on record. And above my head, you will see a little banner that we're going to leave there through the whole video. We have product in stock. There is 10-ounce bars, 100-ounce bars. We have maples in stock. We have 1,000-ounce bars, industrial demand. I've been in this market for 17 years now and working with 1,000-ounce bars the entire time throughout my tenure. Always in physical form, always delivered to your account, to your home, or for pickup. This is the physical market. We don't deal in any type of paper market whatsoever. These videos are not about futures, options, stocks, ETFs, or anything like that, other than we love to discuss all of those facets and how they relate to our markets of physical gold and silver. First thing I want to do is quickly just go back to our website. If you go to deltaharbor.com, it's an easy site to navigate. We have some what we offer options right on the front page to let you know. We have our latest webinar updated there for Canadian clients. If you'd like to put gold and silver into an RSP, TFSA, or other type of registered account, this is the place to go. Take a look at that webinar. It plays and you can just watch, sit back, and if you like what you see, certainly come to us, give us a call. In addition to that and the products above us here in the banner, we have tons of gold in stock, and when it's on sale like it is right now, it's going off the shelves quickly, but we're restocking constantly, and all of these assets you can see, with the exception of a few, are currently in stock. And rather than give the final price or have an e-store online, our accounts are really simple. You open the account, you fund your account, you spend your funds. You'll have an online portal to see what you've purchased and all of that good stuff there. And you can see what the markups are right there. We keep it very simple, and these are our prices over spot. And as far as that 1,000-ounce bar is concerned, Elon Musk, if you're watching, you need 1,000-ounce bars. They are going to be increasingly difficult to get a hold of. We have them. We've been dealing with them for 17 years. No going into the futures market, no dealing with paper, no dealing with slam downs, nothing. If you want 1,000-ounce bars, come to us, let us know how many you need. We'd be happy to help you out. Secondly, education is the key. I want to make sure that you all know to be plugged in. Get onto our Twitter. Our YouTube page is brand new, so there's only a few subscribers so far. We'd love to bulk that up. We'd love for you to hit like and share this video and subscribe to it if you're a viewer, if you like what Delta Harbor Assets offers. And this is the most up-to-date, the Twitter page that we have of all of the material that we're sending out on a day-to-day basis. It is always up to date, and you will always find the latest articles. In fact, not only do we cover the North American markets and the European markets and what's happening in Asia, but we have a special place in our hearts for our Canadian clients, seeing as we are located in Canada. So we will have a lot of information that is streaming through this Twitter feed and our other social outlets as it relates to Canadian markets, which is lacking hugely. Now, I want to touch base on the GameStop situation. So this week, we see that with various outlets reporting, this happens to be Market Watch, we see Thomas Petterfy, the founder and chairman of Interactive Brokers, come out and talk about the whole situation, and Congress was definitely dealing with the situation and asking questions about how it happened. And there's going to be a slap on the wrist for a few people, as you would expect. But what was interesting was that the chairman of Interactive Brokers came out and said that we were dangerously close to the collapse of entire system. Now, he's referring to Interactive Brokers, I think, more so than anything else, but it gives you some insight as to how different this new change in mentality is. You've got a very youthful group of traders coming out of the Reddit streams and the back ends that have been very sparsely located throughout the market, unable to communicate together, unable to put together a voice, which all of a sudden changes when it comes to GameStop. And since that point in time, I don't want to dwell on GameStop, you've seen the addition of Wall Street Bets and its approach on silver as well. And now you're seeing several subreddits pop up. We follow a number of them. You'll see us listed as the bullion provider of choice on Wall Street Silver subreddit. You'll see us listed on the Silver Institute as well. But again, there are a number of places where you can find our name out there. But it's an interesting market because these people are calling and saying, how is it that you have this and somebody else doesn't? Well, you're dealing with a market that is very sparsely populated in terms of the North American market as a whole. And the theme here that I want to put across is that small dealers will always run out of coins and bars very quickly. Large ones like Delta will always have a game plan in place. And like the other big bullion houses, and there are really not too many in Canada. Delta is probably one of the largest, along with maybe one or two others. You will have product available, and that's why this banner is above us showing what we do have in stock. But that being said, this whole GameStop mentality and this whole discussion about what happened, it's an interesting one because I remember back in 2008, the same thing happening, that we were moments during the subprime mess and the 2008 financial collapse, 2009, that we were just minutes away from a complete breakdown. And of course, what does that always spell? It spells support in some way, shape, or form. Bailout here, a bailout there. What's $1 trillion? It's all adding up. In a minute, we'll see exactly what's happening in the US and Canada. But ultimately, this is a marketplace that you have to watch, pay attention to. The onset of this new theme coming to the mainstream started with this whole GameStop situation, and now it's bleeding over into silver because, again, silver is a market that has been picked on throughout my entire tenure of 17 years. Take a read on anything that Ted Butler has written, Mike Maloney, Arcadia Economics. There's just so many great places you can find out macro information about the silver market. But in a nutshell, this is a commodity which is half its 1980 price. Find me another commodity which is doing that right now. Find me a single commodity out there which is half of its 1980 price. And when that hits the mainstream, people start to realize that silver and gold are on sale and have been on sale this whole time. They're going to start to use all of that money that they've held back. And we'll look at that right now because Financial Post definitely made the best effort I've seen all week to convey just how much Canadian money is on the sidelines. And there is a lot of it right now, billions and billions of dollars. And people are uncertain. They're uncertain about the markets and what it means. But as it relates to this whole GameStop, this is a mindset change. And now we're seeing these great, once hidden, undervalued assets like silver come to the mainstream and become available for the everyday purchaser, just like they were back in the 70s. If you were alive in the 70s and you were trading silver, you saw the lineups outside Scotiabank, downtown King Street, with people wanting to sell, buy, do all kinds of things. Lineups around the building when silver took off and went in 90 days from $5 an ounce all the way to $52 an ounce. Well, history repeats itself, and that circle has come full all the way around. And now we're seeing all of those same underpinning building blocks in currency depreciation from printing, the threat of inflation, which we're going to talk about in a minute, geopolitical instability, now here, domestic geopolitical instability, and supply and demand, which has been a huge topic. So as it relates to silver and gold, I want you to realize as a listener, viewer, new subscriber, existing client, whoever you are, this is a chance in a lifetime that we won't get again to be in this market owning silver at a ridiculously low price, and gold arguably also much higher than silver, but still at a ridiculously low price in comparison to what the next decade holds. And for my thoughts on that, follow me. I've written lots and extensively about it. But both gold and silver are going numerous times higher than they are right now over the next decade. And you can thank the uncertainty of the marketplace, the poor management of our money, and all the various things that relate to those building blocks I just discussed for that treat. So if you're a silver buyer and you're sitting on the sideline and you don't know about silver, or you've got some, but maybe you're not sure if you want to add some more, look into it. Think about it. Talk to the people you trust. Don't take our word for it. Go out there and listen, read, and find out more about the story of silver and gold. You'll find quickly that it is a story about insurance. It is a story about protection of your wealth. And remember, we deal in physical. If you're unable to hold that product, if you can't feel it in your hands, you can't see it and touch it, then it probably doesn't exist. And you can read lots about that this week on all the other big silver paper vehicles, which either A, make it difficult for you to take delivery because they don't want you to take delivery, or B, don't have the product that backs that paper. They're out there moving back and forth. So expect things like GameStop to bleed out into things like silver, because silver has been picked on for a long time. And as an investor, if you see value, you should go after value. Silver is one of those places you can find it right now. And with Canadians in particular, with that money on the sideline, remember, putting silver and gold into your registered accounts is easy. We can do it. It's simple. On our website, we have a webinar, which you're free to watch anytime. And our YouTube channel also has the same video. So what's happening in Canada? Well, let's go take a look. As I said earlier, one of the big threats, inflation. I've talked about it for so long. I can't even remember the very first time I had a discussion about it. It certainly was before 2008, and that first level of worry we had approaching 2008 was subprime in the US, and that financial crisis we experienced, recession, which arguably in some respects never left us. But inflation is a serious threat. And as long as it's a threat like we saw in the 70s, you will see gold and silver, which historically have been hugely impacted by the threat of inflation, rise in price. It happened in the 70s, that threat of inflation took over. All that printed money hit the street. And from 70 to 1980, when Nixon ended the gold standard at 71, gold rose up to 850 from next to nothing, $35 an ounce. And silver went from $2 and change all the way up to $52 an ounce, both in the thousands of percentile higher. And this is what's happening right now. Same thing occurring right now with gold and silver. And because this is a long-term market, that value is still there. Where else can you go and buy something that's less than a tank of gas in an ounce of silver, or less than, for you Canadians, less than our cases of very expensive beer? Ultimately, that being said, Canada is now on the radar across the world. Numerous websites, publications around the world talking about the threat of inflation. I think you should note that if we look back to 2019, there was not too many people talking about it. I was on air, on radio, talking about the threat of inflation, talking about things like shrinkflation, talking about what all of the manufacturers were doing to products and food in particular. A great example where they were shrinking down the packaging size to keep the same profit margins in place. You were getting a 2-liter jug of orange juice once upon a time. Now you're getting 1.8 and in some cases 1.5 liters for the same price. That's happening across the board. Take a look and see that our video that I did a while back on inflation and food prices. It's a very interesting one. But that being said, Canada is now on the radar of the world. You can't print what we did. And to put that into perspective, let's take a look at that. You can see from this chart right here just how much Canada has printed. That is an astronomical sum in comparison to what we've ever done. Prior to this year, the largest single deficit we've run was in 2008, I believe, with Stephen Harper at around 54 billion. Or prior to this, 2020, pardon. In 2020 was 385 billion. And so we are way, way off course in terms of balancing the books. And that is going to lead to big problems. It's part of the reason people have such uncertainty right now, but all the more reason we need to look at alternative options for protecting our wealth. Silver and gold have been viewed and have worked and served people for a millennia as insurance for your wealth. It's going nowhere. There's no third-party problems like you have with paper situations. Physical gold and silver is the end all that is all in terms of the best physical hard assets you can own to protect yourself. A lot of house crazy people out there that are disagreeing with me right now because of this pandemonium we felt in the real estate market. But mark my words, outside of this year, we are going to experience not a soft landing, not a over easy landing. We are going to experience a very hard landing, a very big eye opener as to how fast housing prices can crash. That's my own personal opinion. You cannot have this type of buildup, this type of money printing, these artificially low interest rates, and not have those mortgage rates rise long term. Look at the bond market; it's already happening, and inflation, a very serious threat. Now, on the theme of inflation, and in comparison, let's take a look at the U.S. You can see their money supply out of control. Dozens and dozens of decades where nothing happened, and all of a sudden, the Obama-Bush changeover to Obama, and then to Trump, and then to now Biden, and you can see what's happened. The money printing is out of control. It's the same here in Canada. It's going to take a while for us to get back to normal. Your kids' will be thanking you for investing in silver and gold, so you can get that into your pockets. Now, on the world stage, Dalio and BlackRock's Fink predict inflation rebound. This is the U.S. and the world. They're seeing that it's happening there, but also pointing out that the Canadian market in particular is approaching extreme threat of high inflation. So if they tell you that inflation is around 1%, well, make a stop at Home Depot. If you need a reason to buy silver and gold because they're great protectors against the threat of inflation robbing you of your purchasing power, go and look at a 2x4 at $7, a sheet of GS1 plywood at $46, a gallon of decent paint approaching now almost 100 in some cases I've seen. So there is no doubt that inflation is set in. It's at the market or street level. They can't tell you that, because telling you that or admitting that inflation at street level is 3, 4, 5, 6% would mean that they'd have a cost of living adjustment, and employers could not afford that. Therefore, the official stat is now 1%, but I suspect that in the near term, over the next 12 months, we'll be seeing much, much more as it relates to inflation. So with that threat in mind, we're going to be focusing on, again, how do we protect ourselves? Well, there's 4 products right there that you can use above my head in that banner. I'd like to make sure that you know our website is always available for you. If you want to add gold, silver, give us a call. The number's right there, 1-888-335-8645. One of us will be happy to take your call, if not me directly. And I'm always happy to hear from our viewers. I want to thank you for tuning in. Wish you a great weekend. If you're viewing this and you have a chance, please subscribe to the channel. It's very important that we thank you for doing that, but also that we get those likes, because we want to bring more content to you, more charts, more information on the Canadian market, and we hope you're paying attention. Silver is on sale. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. We'd love for you to make that money as opposed to somebody else. I'm Darren Long from Delta Harbor Assets, wishing you a great day.